It was raining the night. Everything changed. Heavy drops crashed against the glass like a storm trying to break in. Ethan sat alone in his dimly lit apartment, the only light coming from the glow of his phone screen. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, heart pounding so loud it drowned out the rain. 3 simple words stared back at him. I love you. He had rehearsed them 1,000 times in his head in the quiet moments between breaths, and now they were finally there. But his thumb didn't move. He didn't press send. For a long second, the world seemed to freeze. Outside, a car passed on the slick street, its headlights slicing through the night, and Ethan wondered if life would be easier if feelings didn't weigh so much. Then the phone buzzed with a new notification, a photo of her, Lily, smiling with Ryan. They were at dinner, laughing, their faces glowing with a happiness that didn't include him. His chest ached. Slowly, deliberately, he backspaced every letter until the words were gone. The screen turned black, reflecting his face like a stranger's. That was the night he lost her without even trying to keep her. Ethan met Lily 7 years ago, back when life felt simpler and love seemed infinite. It was autumn on campus, the kind where golden leaves spun like lazy dancers before carpeting the ground. He was sitting in the far corner of the library, hiding in the silence, when she walked in. She wore a navy blue sweater, her auburn hair tumbling like flames, and carried a copy of The Great Gatsby pressed to her chest. She scanned the room and, for reasons he never understood, chose the empty chair next to him. "Is this seat taken?" she asked, her voice soft like the opening line of a song he'd never stop humming. From that moment, something shifted. One question, and suddenly his world wasn't just his anymore. They started with conversations about books and dreams, moving from literature to life, from laughter to late-night confessions whispered under starry skies. To Ethan, she wasn't just a girl. She was home, warmth in human form. But some homes aren't meant to last. Years passed, and their friendship deepened like roots beneath the soil. Movie marathons at midnight, bike rides around the lake where she squealed every time her feet left the ground, shared coffee in quiet cafes while rain tapped softly on the glass. There were moments, so many, that felt like the edge of something more. Her fingers brushing his as they reached for popcorn, her head leaning on his shoulder during a sad film, her eyes holding his a little longer than necessary. Every time, hope bloomed in his chest like spring flowers, and every time, fear pulled him back. What if saying it ruined everything? What if she didn't feel the same? So he swallowed the words, again and again, until silence became a habit and love became a secret. The first crack appeared on an ordinary day. They were sitting in their favorite cafe, a cozy little place where the smell of cinnamon rolls floated like music. Rain painted the windows in silver, and Lily was scrolling on her phone, smiling at something. "Ryan's coming back this weekend," she said casually, her voice bright. "Remember him? My friend from high school." Ethan forced a smile that tasted like bitterness. "Yeah," he whispered, fingers tightening around the warm mug as if it could steady his shaking heart. He nodded, pretending it didn't matter, but inside, a storm raged. That night, the storm followed him home. He sat in bed, the glow of his phone turning the room into a lonely galaxy. He typed those 3 words, "I love you," stared at them. His thumb hovered over send, trembling with every beat of his heart. Then the photo appeared. Lily and Ryan, laughing at dinner, looking like a story that didn't include him. His chest caved. He erased the words, turned off the screen, and in that moment of hesitation, fate wrote its ending. Life, as it always does, moved on without mercy. Lily got a job offer in New York, a dream she'd whispered to him years ago under a blanket of stars. When she told him, it was at the airport. Wind swept her hair across her glowing face, and her excitement was like sunlight. "I got the job, Ethan! Can you believe it? This is everything I wanted!" He swallowed hard, his throat dry. This was his chance. His last chance. Say it now. Tell her. Tell her before she walks away. But the words tangled inside him like chains. He smiled instead, that quiet, practiced smile. That's Amazing, Lil. She hugged him then, arms tight around his neck, and he closed his eyes, memorizing the way she smelled of vanilla and rain. Memorizing the way home felt. When the plane took off, Ethan stood behind the glass, watching her reflection fade into the clouds. Sometimes the hardest goodbyes are the ones that don't sound like goodbyes at all. Months passed. Calls became texts, texts became fewer, and soon her voice was just an echo in his memory. Until one day, an envelope arrived. White, elegant, embossed with gold. His hands trembled as he read the names, Lily Parker and Ryan Cole. The air left his lungs. He stared at the letters until they blurred through his tears. That night, he sat in the dark again, phone glowing in his hand. The same 3 words appeared on the screen, like ghosts haunting him. This time, he didn't hesitate. He hit send. The message flew into the void, a desperate whisper too late to matter. Hours later, a reply buzzed through the silence. His heart stopped as he read it. I waited for this for years, but I can't undo today. I'm sorry, Ethan. He stared at those words until the room disappeared. Then he walked outside, into the rain, letting it soak him, blur the lines between pain and sky. The wedding was on a golden afternoon, in a countryside church bathed in light. Bells rang like laughter, and guests filled the pews with chatter. Ethan stood at the back, a shadow among colors. Then he saw her, Lily, in white, glowing like a dream he could never wake from. Time slowed. Their eyes met across the distance, and for a second, the world went silent. No bells, no vows, just 2 souls speaking in the language of what-ifs. He whispered under his breath, so softly the words barely left his lips. I love you. I always have. But the music swallowed his confession, and her smile, oh, that smile, belonged to someone else. He stayed until the vows were done, until the rings were exchanged, until forever was sealed. Then he slipped out before the first dance, carrying nothing but the weight of everything unsaid. Outside, rain had started again, as if the sky wept for all the things humans never say. Ethan sat in his car, staring at his phone, the message thread still glowing like an open wound. He thought of all the moments he let slip, all the times he chose fear over truth. Love isn't silent, he realized. Silence is just another word for regret. As the rain blurred the windshield, Ethan closed his eyes and whispered to the night, "Goodbye, Lily." In the distance, through the open church doors, he saw her laugh. Free, beautiful, happy. He smiled then, a real smile this time, though it was stitched with sorrow. He started the engine and drove away, leaving behind not just her, but the boy who waited too long. Because sometimes, the greatest tragedies aren't the storms that break us, but the words we never say. So if you love someone, tell them. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for tomorrow. Because tomorrow might belong to someone else. Subscribe. Maybe the next story is yours.